Hey y'all, what is going on? What is going on? It's your girl, Melba Pearson, Melba from Miami, Melba for Justice, also known as the resident legal diva. And it is time for another Mondays with Melba. Well, it is May, and we're getting really, really close to our primary elections that are coming up in August, as well as the general elections that are coming up this November. A ton of offices are on the ballot. I know a lot of folks are thinking about the presidential, but we always have to remember that it's our local offices, our state offices that often have more of an impact on our day to day than the president, than senators, et cetera. So, to that end, I'm bringing on a candidate for Florida State House, Laura Kelley. Laura, welcome to Mondays with Melba. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super grateful to be here, and I am grateful for everything that you do, bring awareness to all of these issues.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're running, and what area of the state does it cover, and why are you running?
Well, I am, as you mentioned, I'm a state representative candidate for Florida House District 111. Let me say the Democratic candidate, the only Democrat running so far. And my district covers all of Doral, part of Sweetwater, Hialeah Gardens, and Medley. Now, this district I've lived in for over 10 years. It's where I have my business as well. And I'm running because we needed to have an option on the ballot in November. You mentioned that state house races are important to our day in and day out. I couldn't agree more. We tend to focus on federal elections when we need to really see what is the state legislature and our governor doing. My opponent ran unopposed in 2022. And I think he was emboldened to take on a lot of extremist positions because of that. And so I decided to run to hold him accountable and to give voters in District 111 an option in November, primarily a pro-choice option in November.
That is huge. That is huge. Why is that such a critical issue, especially in your district? I mean, are there particular votes that the incumbent has made that were harmful to people that give birth, or what's sort of the situation in your district around repro rights?
I'm so glad you asked that. Again, that goes back to him being emboldened, I believe, to take extremist positions. Not only did he vote for the 5th-week abortion ban and the 6th-week abortion ban, this last term, my opponent actually proposed a total or near total abortion ban. And it would have defined life at fertilization. So this type of legislation would not have only, obviously, eliminated pregnant persons' ability to choose when and where and how they will have children. It would have obviously severe consequences and implications for in vitro fertilization, but also things that people don't always realize, things like Plan B, the morning after pill, as well as the actual birth control pill. Because what some people don't understand, and this is a little bit of a nuance, that the birth control pill and Plan B, or the morning after pill, can prevent the implantation of a fertilized egg in the uterus. So those are far-reaching implications that people often don't consider when we think, oh, life begins at conception. Well, science defines conception differently. And when we have state legislators with no medical training whatsoever, legislating our bodies, our bodily autonomy, the unintended consequences or intended consequences are extreme.
And that's such a great point, because you think about all the hullabaloo now around IVF and how it was something that, everyone kind of took for granted. Like, oh, you go, you freeze your eggs, you do, whatever you need to do in order to be able to, have a child later on in life, or whatever the case may be. And some of these abortion laws and abortion bans now directly speak to whether or not you can destroy the other, maybe fertilized eggs that may be refrigerated because you just literally don't need them, right? You implanted one, great, it worked, but now with the abortion bans, all of these other collateral consequences are coming up in ways that people didn't even think of which is how we saw the Arizona legislature repeal their basically total abortion ban law, because they were like, oh, no, wait, we didn't think about all this. So, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely stuff for people to think about.
I mean, the issue with in vitro fertilization is that it goes beyond fertilized eggs, and we actually have frozen embryos. And so the idea that we have frozen human beings sitting in petri dishes, and that, I mean, conceptually, when you realize, oh wait, it does not work that way, and we can't have it both ways. We cannot have it both ways. So I know that the Alabama legislature has tried to do carve-outs for in vitro fertilization, but when you do these carve-outs, you're losing a sense of basic logic and understanding of anatomy, of the process of birth. And so it's very frustrating to me. Again, having people who are not medically educated or trained legislating situations, encompass so many factors that like, who am I to presume I know what anybody else may need medically? I don't presume to know that. And the state legislature should not presume to know that either.
Yeah, that's a discussion between a person and their doctor. I mean, and then they make the best decision that makes the most sense for their lives. But in addition to repro rights, what are some of the top 3 priorities you're looking at working on if and when you are elected to the Florida House?
Well, I'm manifesting, so I will be elected. I don't leave it open for option. I'm manifesting it.
Yes.
I actually had my, it was my birthday last weekend, and I got my 10-year plate, they make you get a new license plate, and my new license plate has REP. So I can see reproductive rights there. I can see representative there. I'm manifesting. But not only reproductive freedom is my, of course, huge issue. I'm a mother. I have a daughter. I am, I believe in bodily autonomy for all humans, frankly. And then the other issues that are really important to me are cost of living and property insurance. Cost of living to me is fundamental because we have this perception that our economy is bad. And it's not that the economy is bad, it's that prices are too high. And, there's a lot of factors at play there. But one factor, and we like to point again to the federal inflation, but there are lots of local issues that lead to the issues of inflation. So, for example, I'm an immigration attorney. I know a lot about SB 1718, the anti-immigrant bill that was passed last term by the state legislature and signed by the governor, and Maya signed it, or voted for it rather. And this bill literally scared many long-term migrants out of the state, thereby harming industries like agriculture, hospitality, and construction. So when we lose our already shortened labor force, prices go up. We have high demand, low supply, and this is the basic formula for high prices. And those high prices affect Floridians on a daily basis. And so, there are real ways that we can reduce prices on a state and local level that would benefit Floridians. And of course, property insurance. I've been affected by this. We bought a home in 2022. And so 2 years later, what happened? Our mortgage now, because of the property insurance, is over $1,000 a month higher than what we anticipated. And I know a lot of people are in that same position. And it's really unfortunate to me that there are good proposals out there to resolve this issue, but they weren't allowed to come floor last term. And so we have to have a change in our legislature. There was a bipartisan effort by Representative Cassell, Representative Roach, to fix this issue. If they have a supermajority, why can't they fix the issue? Thank you.
That part.
That, exactly.
Wow. So those are really solid kitchen table issues that so many folks in your district and throughout Florida dealing with. So, you mentioned that you're an immigration attorney, you're a mom. What about your perspective makes you the perfect person to lead this jurisdiction and basically go up to Tallahassee and help fight back against this supermajority?
Well, I think that for me, I have leader skills from throughout my career. I'm a small business owner, so I understand the needs of small business owners and employers, excuse me, and employees, because I've been an employee myself.
That too.
But yeah, too, yeah. I've been working since I was 15. But I'm also the president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association of South Florida. So I've been leading that organization for a year. I'm on the board of governors of our national organization. And in that process, I have had the benefit of going to lobby Congress for 2 years in a row, for example, for comprehensive immigration reform. And actually this February, I was up in Tallahassee lobbying the state legislature about the immigration issues that they continue to pass, and trying to inform legislators again about the unintended consequences of these laws. It's and I think that because I have this experience, I can explain the unintended consequences of laws that are pandering, because that's what they really do, pandering. We do have a border crisis. I will say that I do believe that we have a border crisis, but that border crisis is not resolved on the state level. In fact, bills like SB 1718 do nothing to prevent anything happening at the border. What it does actually have a truly negative consequence on people who have been here 20 plus years in our community. They're part of the fabric of our community, and now they're being forced to leave because they literally cannot find work. And it's the work that we need them to be doing in our state. And so when I see things like the governor signing bills that will allow children to work more hours or work the same hours as adults, it's like, well, because we have a labor shortage. But why do we have a labor shortage? Like, and why aren't we doing anything about that? Why are we exacerbating the problem and thinking we can resolve it with children? I just can't. I can't. So
I know.
what makes me qualified to lead is that I think I'm an intelligent person who can think through the consequences and will not pander to my constituents or anybody else. We have to treat people, they are intelligent and they can understand the issues, but we also have to find, the right messaging that isn't, I don't like these things like, oh, it's corporate greed or this or that. That does not resonate with people. But let's talk about prices. Let's talk about labor. Let's talk about your neighbor. Let's talk about our community. People, we need to find common ground in our communities. All of us need to find common ground. And so this extremism, this pandering, this labeling, hatefulness, spitefulness, it has to go. It's tearing us apart. I believe that I'm the right person for District 111 to bring us back together and find real solutions that are going to help people's daily lives.
Yeah, I absolutely, I love everything that you're saying. I mean, because at the end of the day, yes, we do have a labor shortage, but using children and robbing them of the ability to be educated, right? Because reality is the kids are going to end up dropping out of school to work
Yes.
longer hours, or if they are still going to school but they've worked all night, they're going to fall asleep in class, so they're still not really getting the education, which means
Yes.
they're going to be doomed to the poverty loop, right? They're never going to be able to, and I'm not saying they need to go to college, you need to go to Harvard because that's the only way you're going to be able to make a living. No, but maybe they wanted to go into a trade and become a plumber or become an electrician, which would be a great way for them to be able to pay their bills, take care of their families, and live a decent, middle class life, right? That's what most people want and aspire towards. And you're denying them of that future because of this short-sighted attack on immigrants. And in the long run, you end up damaging the communities irreparably. But I could talk about that all day, but this is about you. So let's talk a little bit more about how folks can learn more and support you on the campaign. So first of all, are you the only one running in as a Democrat, meaning that your only election will be in November? Can you kind of break the dates down for folks?
Absolutely. So far, I am the only Democrat running in this seat. We have our qualifying period coming up in June, so there's still time. But this is a tough district. This is a red-leaning district. Like I said, my opponent is an incumbent, and he was unopposed last election. So there was not a lot of interest on the part of Democrats in my district to run against him. But when I found out that there was nobody else, I said, you know what, let's do this, because I do believe that we can win. I believe that the issues facing our state right now are so important. I think my opponent's vote record is just so terrible. I'm willing to knock on every single door in my district so that people get to know who I am, what I'm about, and how we can build common ground together without needing to rely solely on party affiliation. So that's so far what's on with me, and yeah, hopefully I will remain unopposed so I can focus on the election in November 5th.
Awesome. And then what is your address for people to go to the website if they want to volunteer, if they want to donate or learn more, share with their friends? How can they find you on the web and on socials?
Fortunately, you can find me the same way everywhere. It's Kelley, Kelley, for the number 4, Florida. That's going to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's my website. So Dom, and also X, formerly known as Twitter.
Awesome. Awesome. So for everybody watching, just know I'm going to be dropping Laura's website, and socials in the chat as well as in the comments. So you'll be able to click right there. I can tell you right now, I'm going to be watching this case and this, because this is a case, it's a whole case, but I'm going to be watching this race and this case with great interest. And hopefully I'd love to have you on, Laura, again, closer to the election so we can not only talk about what's happening around reproductive rights in Florida, but also give us an update on how things are going with your race and give you all a reminder of, again, what's at stake on the ballot this November. So Laura, thank you so much for joining us with Mondays with Melba today. Best of luck, but we're going to have you back again soon. And y'all take care, stay woke, stay engaged. Bye.
Thank you.